Why did you
Right.
turn him into Pixar?
I don't know. I didn't make this. Like Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. It's come out. It's 2 hours. I thought it was absolutely terrible. I thought it was a really bad film. Um, I haven't spoken to either of you, but I thought it was bloody awful. I thought it was absolutely atrocious. It was a disjointed mess. There were far too many themes running through it that were clearly. There was whole scenes cut out. Gruberson on the roof, gone. Black girl's eye freezing over, gone. Entire sequences cut out of this film. It's completely butchered. You've got the old Ghostbusters trying to deal with the fact that they're old. There's that theme. You've got Wolfhard trying to deal with the fact that he's trying to be an adult. So there's that theme. You've got Gruberson trying to deal with the fact that he's a dad. There's that theme. I mean, that's 3 themes already. You've got bloody Ghostbusters trying to be taken out of the city. There's another theme. You've also got I don't know, Kamal Nanjiani trying to deal with the fact that he's some fire starter, twisted fire starter.
Cool.
Fire starter. And then you've got some weird lesbian ghost shit. which no, I'll tell you what, there was something there which was cut out of the film. I'm happy to die on this hill. You fucking raise your eyebrow all you want, mate, but I'm going to die on this hill because
just like the shippers. Just like the shippers.
No, mate, let me explain. Right, you see stuff and things all the time. Let me explain why I think this is here. Right,
I've heard everybody's explanation on this all week, dude. That's all.
You haven't heard mine. She met that ghost twice. Then on the 3rd time, she's like, "I'm just going to go do a experimental thing and pull my spirit from my body." Why?
Yeah, I'm going to go off myself. Yeah.
Why? Why would she do to touch her? There was very clearly
they didn't touch. They never touched. And this is the thing people are putting into it.
Funny enough, that's the edit bay, mate. That's what they've done in the edit bay. They removed.
See, and here's the thing: is I think there's other pieces that are missing that are leading people to believe this. See, that's the problem I have here.
It was
because
bloody shit film.
Well, I liked it. God damn it, I liked it a lot. Yes, I agree. There's some issues with it. Yes, there's a bunch on the cutting room floor. But overall, I thought it was a very good film.
Very good. What would you rate it out of 10?
Ghostbusters. My rate out of 10, probably like a 6.5 or a 7.
There was no fucking busting of ghosts. Use the language.
The hell there wasn't. There's more ghost busting in this movie than any other Ghostbuster movie.
No, there's not. The Ghostbusters
yes, there is.
Off screen. Oh,
okay,
sorry.
tell me the ghost that they bust in the first movie. Oh, wait. It's Slimer. That's it. Wait for... Okay, what's the ghost they bust in the second movie? The Scoleri brothers. That's it. They only bust one ghost in every one of the movies. It's a typical thing. Mate. And then the rest of the movie is obsessed with whatever the big bad is.
Mate.
That's always been the case.
It doesn't mean it has to be. They literally...
Oh, but in this version, we get tons of ghost stuff. We get tons of geek Ghostbuster stuff. You got okay. First of all, let me address this fucking lesbian story. Everybody is totally disregarding the fact that Phoebe is at this point where she is too young to be a Ghostbuster. After the events that happened at the beginning of the film, Walter Peck comes in and says, "What do you got a minor doing, working for you, and all these other things?" So they bench her. So she's feeling left out.
And stop. Can we just address that first though? Because that storyline is how they then could have showed loads of ghost busting, because they literally were called out on loads of busting of ghosts and we didn't see it. Why couldn't we go and watch them busting ghosts?
Because the movie's already 2 hours long, Mr. H, and they got enough shit to fit in here. Fine. Like, I get you. I'm not gonna argue the fact that there couldn't be a little bit more of this, that, or the other, but that's the problem, is we have too much of everything already. That's one thing I agree with you. In fact, okay, you want me to go to my negatives first? I'll go to my negatives first. Lucky and Podcast shouldn't even be here. Should not even be here. They should have just excised him from the script. In fact, if Podcast wasn't here, it would help Phoebe's story. Let's see what else is wrong. You're right. There's a bunch of stuff that's missing. You pointed out a few scenes. In fact, I think there's a whole bit missing where people are overlooking that Phoebe is obsessed with Ghost. She wants to connect with a ghost, not just because she wants to scissor, but right away, people always ignore the fact that there's that scene where they go down to the laboratory and there's a little Stay Puft guy, and she's about to have that ET moment with the Stay Puft guy, and then Podcast comes in and smushes him. right? So she's clearly obsessed with connecting with ghosts because she talks to Ray about what do you think it's like to be a ghost and all these other things. Okay. Now, Melody's whole goal is to try and get her to do that exact thing. Now, here's the thing about...
Yeah, I know, but how would she even know that was a thing? See what I mean? Like, how? Let
me finish. And this is the mistake of the filmmakers. There's a scene, I believe, missing here, because when we first established the whole ghost separator machine from the objects, whatever you want to call it, she asks, have you ever tried it on a living thing? The guy, no. When she talks to Melody later, she says with a certainty that it is not fatal. So that tells me at some point in between that point and that point, she or somebody else tested it on something living, and she knows for a fact that as long as she does it for 2 minutes, she'll be okay. And this is actually a callback to an episode of the real Ghostbusters where Egon did it. Okay, he did the exact same thing. And you guys are jumping all to this fucking conclusion that she's jumping into lesbianism when it has nothing to do with it. She's feeling left out because she's got 3 years till she's 18. And what does she do? She meets a ghost who is forever a teenager. And it's the only person that seems to get her right now. And everybody just keeps jumping to this conclusion. And everybody also leaves out the whole chessboard thing. And this is where I never jumped to this gay thing until after everybody was talking about it. And I understand where people are seeing it because of all this modern bullshit. But it's right there. She goes up to the chessboard, probably hoping that her grandpa will come and play chess with her. And that's where my mind went from the start. It was like, okay, so this villain is going to use, her grandpa or make her think it's her grandpa and trick her somehow. But then it becomes this girl. So I'm like, okay, but I'm still going down this road that there's something up with this ghost, right? Like there's something not right. And I was right. She targeted Phoebe from the start. They needed a human to get to the other side. That is always a gimmick with every one of the Ghostbuster movies. They needed the Keymaster and the Gatekeeper in the first movie. They needed Oscar in the second movie. And then they needed the Keymaster and Gatekeeper again in Afterlife. It's the same thing here. They need a human to somehow connect to the outside world. That's all it is. So Melody is trying to get her to do that some way or another. But why didn't they jump to the ultimate conclusion that everybody's jumping to here? Because it's not there. There's no lean in. There's no talk of relationship. There's no talk about being lonely as far as... That's my point. Oh my God, though. To me, it's no different than people going, oh, Poe and Finn are gay because he gave him his goddamn jacket. It's the same thing the fucking shippers do, dude. There's nothing here.
Let me explain then. So it's not. So... One, risking her life in the edit that they've chopped up. Right?
Because she also told her before that she knows how to get to the other side. You have to finish your business. I helped my grandpa. Remember that?
Okay. Too. But then why would she be hoping her grandpa's going to turn up and play chess with her?
Well, that was after she realized that she's not. But she can help this ghost. That's my point. Is she's trying to connect with these ghosts. I think that she is trying to help the ghosts. Because there's two different spirits here. That's another thing that this movie...
Why would she become a ghost to do that then, Tom?
Oh my fucking God. Because Melody at some point put something in her head that she they wanted to be on that level. And this is where I agree with you. There should have been shit because there's that one scene where she asks, what's the coolest thing about being a ghost? This. And she disappears, right? There should have been more of that kind of stuff where Melody is doing ghost stuff and she keeps asking about it and she's just curious about what it is like to be a ghost. Right, because I don't see.
What? Do you want me to give my point across why I think?
Go ahead. I'm done. I've just been dealing with this for a week now, almost.
Wait, don't take it personally, Tom. Anyway, I could see it because the way it's shot and edited, there's a lot of lingering moments. That's not what Poe and Finn had. They didn't have lingering, like, I'm not shipping it from that ridiculousness. But there were contextually quite a lot of lingering moments.
Where are these lingering moments? Because I watched it twice. Okay. And all these things that people really said they said. Yes, I did.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I liked it better the second time.
I try to get Tom to watch a film and he just doesn't, and he's bloody watched this twice. I mean,
because of all the crap, especially culture, because there's a lean in. I'm like, no, there isn't. And I watched it. No, there's no fucking lean in. There is absolutely no lean in. I don't know what you're seeing other than what you're putting in your own mind there, dude. And I get it. People are trigger happy because we've been browbeaten with this stuff. But there's nothing that supports this in the actual movie. And the only reason I have a problem with it and I'm getting against it is because you have so many people who are putting this idea out there and people are going, I'm not going to see it now because of that. just because of that.
Saw it, other people might see it, so it's perfectly valid to put out there.
Tom, send me your screener because I didn't get one for it. So send me your screener. I'll watch it a second time.
I watched that scene 3 fucking times. She dies. She steps out of the machine towards her. They're standing there for a whole of about 2 to 3 seconds. All of a sudden, she says, boo. Melody's expression changes, and she goes, what's wrong? And then all of a sudden, Phoebe's eyes go to the thing. There is no lingering moment of a lingering lean in or all this other stuff that everybody keeps talking about. It is not there. It's not.
Well, anyway, Culture, what did you think of?
Because at the end, she even says, is any of this real? And that's another line that everybody's keying in on. What is her answer? Yeah. I beat you at chess. That means she beat her in chess in reality, and she screwed her over in general, right? It was a trick from the start. She was targeted. It's not like there was any love there. This ghost wants to get to the other side anyway. That's her whole goal.
Doesn't mean that Phoebe couldn't feel.
Phoebe just wanted a friend. Why is that? Why is it so hard that people can't just be friends?
There is nothing wrong with that. I'm not. All right, Culture. What did you think of the film?
He saw lesbians too, so it's 2 against 1.
Yeah, but I just wanted to review. I don't care. We could talk about the gay dyke ghosts. I just wanted.
I didn't even get to talk about the stuff I liked, so it never mattered. That's what I wanted to talk about for the last 3 or 4 days. I wanted to geek out about this movie, and all I fucking talked about is gay ghosts.
Keep the swearing down. Come on. Talk about the good stuff then. Come on, Tom.
No, it's Culture's turn. You asked him.
No, I'm asking you. Come on, hurry up. Let's go.
I saw Ghostbusters and I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Both of you had brain aneurysms.
No. It's dumb fun.
Guys in the chat. No, I'm taking over. Guys in the chat, don't watch this film. It is bloody terrible. I will stake.
I disagree. You got 2 people that gave you a review. We got another guy in the back who's seen it too. Let's see what Nick says.
Oh well, let's see. Nick, what did you think of Ghostbusters?
Hey, so in short,
did you like it or not?
I did not hate it, but I
my god,
I did not love it.
It's an American thing. Guys in the chat, if you're American, you'll love the film, it seems. There you go.
No. Wait a minute.
I think Ghostbuster fans will love the film. That's what I think, and it depends on your degree of Ghostbuster fandom.
No, maybe. You might be right,
well,
to be fair.
Real quick, not only did I see Ghostbusters, I saw Roadhouse and Dune 2
oh, God.
This weekend.
Well, that's what I'm going, how can you think this is a bad movie? Yeah.
But Ghostbusters, I definitely, and I went and saw the movie with a normie who was a girl who totally thought that that chick and the ghost lady was about to start making out.
Yeah,
don't you set Tom off? Don't do it.
She was like, "Are they about to start making out?" I was like, "I have no idea."
Because there's lingering moments, right?
I totally agree. I felt it. I literally felt it. I was like, "Are they about to make them like a?" Live person and ghosts like love interest,
because according to Tom, that's as bad as people shipping Poe and Finn off together. All right, so you be careful now.
I mean, the thing is, like, I went into this movie and I was like, all right, love the last one, excited to see this one, and I was completely on board. I wasn't looking for any woke weird shit or anything like that, but I felt it in that moment. I like it. I just did. I'm not saying that's what they were going for per se, but I mean,
you like the lesbian lean in, is what you're saying.
There was some ectoplasm up in that busy.
I mean, I didn't, because she's a minor. I thought it was a little weird. But I mean, I did feel it.
They're both minors. Scene. I mean, in the film, they're both supposed to be minors.
Yeah, she definitely does not look like a minor. The ghost.
But neither is. I mean, I don't think Kenna Grace is still a minor. I know Melody is 21. I think, or something.
God. Right. Okay. We still haven't had your.
To be fair, I have said I understand why people see it. The difference is it doesn't follow through with anything. There is absolutely nothing there that follows through with it.
I mean, I can't argue that point.
That's what I'm saying. And people going out there and putting this out there is causing people not to see the film for themselves and judge it for themselves. because I've had varied responses to this. Some people didn't see it. Some people did, but they were glad it didn't go that far. Some people think it's like, so what if she is gay? She's a new character.
Right.
So I've had varied responses to the whole thing.
Yep.
And I've been trying to get my hands on the script. I've gone through several interviews. The one time it's brought up, McKenna Grace, she kind of hops to the side to it. Twice. And then she starts talking about acting, and she starts talking about her crush with Hayden Christensen. At no point does she actually acknowledge the crush in the movie, though.
Now I gotta go look up Sunday.
That's the actual, the reporter herself putting that out there. And again, when the director was asked about the relationship, he talks about a friendship. He doesn't bring anything up about any kind of lingering love or forlong lesbianism. Like, why wouldn't they put that stuff out there? Because here's the problem you have. You have all the critics on one side going, they didn't go gay enough. You got all the critics on the other side going, it's too gay. And then you got all of us in the middle going, what the fuck is everybody bitching about? They didn't actually do anything. And if you guys want to ship them over here like you always ship things, go for it. Right?
I don't always ship anything.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the actual shippers. Right? There's enough there that they can hang up on, but it's not enough for them. See, that's what I'm saying. So how is it not enough for the shippers, but it's too much gay for everybody else? So I'm stuck in the middle going, everybody's just seeing gay ghosts here. Right? Like, literally.
All right.
I mean,
Tom makes some good points, but again, I felt the portrayal of them like having a love interest. I just did, and I wasn't looking forward or trying to feel that way about it. It's just, it came across that way to me. Again, all this stuff's subjective. Everybody's going to see it different. I definitely recommend people to go check it out for themselves. And make their own decision on those scenes. But I knew nothing about the movie going in, and I knew nothing about this at all. So when I saw it, I was just like, are they about to go there? I asked myself the question. I did.
Let's get Culture's opinion on this movie now, and then we'll have to shuffle on. So, Culture, what do you think?
Okay. Again, I know you're not thrilled with my rating, and I don't care. But what I do care about is that it was worth a see. I mean, if you're going to see something stupid like, Roadhouse, this is like miles better than that.
You have to pay for it. You have to pay for Roadhouse. That was the thing.
I don't know. Well, you had to watch commercials if you didn't pay for Roadhouse, but all right. Anyway, what else is going on? Oh, so like there are elements in this film that are dumb. There was not, and this is where my complaints line up with yours, Mr. H, and probably Nick. There was no ghostbusting. There was very little ghostbusting. We were too focused on too many stories with too many characters. It's exactly what I said in my review. This film was all over the place. There were pacing problems. It had the opportunity to have some great stuff in it. There is a good film buried in this movie. Most of it just is like, if they didn't have to try to meet whatever the Hollywood film standards are for DEI bullshit, pardon me, I'm sorry, didn't mean to curse there, but if they didn't have to do that, then this would have been a much better movie, because that's all they were doing with Podcast and Lucky and everybody else. They offered nothing. And as Nate mentioned, and as Tom mentioned, and I know I mentioned, there's stuff in the trailer that's not in the movie. I mean, there was other things that were there. Yeah. There are better scenes left on that cutting room floor, and it's clearly there. So,
but there's a lot of stuff to love here too. That's my problem. And you sound like you hate the movie, and you gave it a higher rating than I did, technically.
Yeah, sure, but no. Okay, look, this is the same argument that I have with people about adaptation versus movie with Dune or any of these other things. It's like, is it a good movie? Is it a good Ghostbusters movie? And, is this going to win awards? This is not going to win awards. This is an entertaining popcorn flick. It's not designed to be anything but that. What they did forget to do is bring comedy to a comedy.
Wasn't funny too.
Yeah, but like you said, I mean, there were some compelling things there. I think the newer characters. And again, this is going to be the generation gap film. This is the one that helped define this clearly. Midnight's Edge dropped a video on it. We screamed about it for at least an hour yesterday on Midnight's Edge in the morning, if I'm not mistaken. And this basically lines up with the fact that the kids don't want to see nostalgia bait. They don't care about our 80s movies anymore. They don't want to see sequels. They don't want to see remakes. And that's all that we're going to be looking at for the next 2 years. That's a problem. I mean, Frozen 27 is not going to do well. So anyway, those are my thoughts.
Yeah. There's definitely some nostalgia bait in there for sure.
Yeah. There's a lot of bait in there.
We need to, so there's Tom Workin has joined in the conversation on this topic and says, what if Phoebe isn't lesbian but into the dead? Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I saw it more as this, just this like obsession with the dead and, you know, like the ghost aspect. Because that was another thing I didn't get to that I was trying to explain was like, they also do for the first time differentiate that there is a difference between a human spirit and an actual evil entity in that, like one is a manifestation of evil. The other is just a ghost. Right. And I think that's another thing is like, you actually have, and that's what the things I was geeking out on was like the stuff in the facility and all that kind of stuff and them testing, you know, all that kind of business and getting deeper into the ghost lore. And, you know, I love
there's haunted CD.
Yeah, there you go. I love it. It was so fucking funny. I loved the Possessor as well. I thought that was a pretty funny ghost.
Did anybody else feel like Bill Murray did not want to be in this movie?
No, I actually his scene is my favorite scene with Nana Jami.
Yeah, he did such a good job. That's the only time I've ever seen that Nana John Namadaba that guy ever act.
Come on, Nanjiani.
Yeah.
Accent Seller has sent in 50 Norwegian kroner. Says it would be more fun to have a full Ghostbuster movie with just the tiny mini puffed marshmallow guys instead. Like John Connor and T2 says, easy money. I agree. I'd be game with that. Just do them. That'd be brilliant.
Yeah, it'd be like Minions with Marshmallow Man.
Yeah. Tom, don't shout. You're scaring the children.
Sorry, I've just been so beaten by this thing in the last few days, man.
Well, we haven't spoken about it, to be fair. So, Tom Workin says Ghostbusters is very much American in my opinion. I mean, it is, but it's very much of its time as well. We also had some over on Streamlabs. So Horseradish Power tipped super chat $2.52 says lesbian ghosts ? So we're talking about the 2005 series Hex, which was a cross between Buffy and Hollyoaks. Oh, Ghostbusters. Well, I guess it's a good reason to rewatch Robot Dreams then, because I already have a bad feeling about the film as is. Yeah, I mean, hopefully listening to this will give you a broader opinion. You don't have to just listen to me, FYI.
Because the three Americans were like, it's fine to see, and then Nate's like, F this film. You know,
it's
a waste.
There really isn't anything woke in it, and that's why I guess I didn't jump to.
That's not my problem with it. It's the fact.
No, I know, but I mean, there's nothing else to support that. Well, I get that. That's fair, right? And that's what I've said. I think your enjoyability of this movie is going to really rest upon how deep of a Ghostbusters fan you are. Like, if you're just a fan, because Clobber and Times I think said it best. He goes, the problem with Ghostbusters 2 is that it has to follow Ghostbusters. And I think that should be for all these films, if you think about it.
Nothing's going to beat the original.
Exactly. Ghostbusters is a perfect movie. You're never going to fit that mold. And Afterlife is not a perfect movie, but guess what? That is one of the few films that actually made me well up at the end.
It's better than Ghostbusters 2016.
Oh, that's not even, like, I don't even consider that a movie, Nick.
Yeah.
That's like...
That was a
litmus test in how, you know,
it's just
yourself through shit.
Yeah.
William.
Anyway, I was just saying, like, to finish my point, like, yeah, because I mean, if you're somebody who's into the series and all that kind of stuff and deep into the ghost lore, those people have seemed to have loved the film. Like, I seem to fall more into that category. I've seen more casual fans. It's just going to depend on your enjoyment of the characters that are there, right? Like, some people just don't like Phoebe. Is like, look, that's understandable too. If you don't like that character, you're not going to like the films because now she's the focal point, right? And that's something we had to learn with Afterlife is that we have to let go of the old guard.
Then why are you giving Furiosa such a fucking?
Because the difference is this is an actual passing of the torch here. This is the big difference, Nate. And now in this movie, you know what we got? And here's my positives. You've got this great grandfatherly relationship between Dan Aykroyd and Phoebe in the film. Right.
I did not.
You've got those two who are very, you know, dealing with the same kind of things in life. One's on one end of the spectrum, one's on the other. And there's other great stuff. I love the Paul Rudd bits. I mean, to me, there's a lot to like in this film. I get it. You know, you didn't enjoy it. That's fine.
That's fine. All right. we gotta get through some of these super chats, guys. So William Fleming tipped $1 says, regarding the new Ghostbusters movie, I'm just upset that Dan Aykroyd Crystal Skull vodka hasn't got a product placement. Isn't it obvious? That would have been really good fun, actually. You could have had one on the back of his shelf. That would have worked.
I think there was one in one of the shelves in the background.
There's enough Easter eggs. I have to watch it again just for the Easter eggs, man.
Horseradish Power tip $2.52 says, Tom and H arguing about Ghostbusters is making me want to rewatch Hex because it is amusing and has Michael Fassbender in it. And now I want to watch Flatliners and The Feast. What else can I rewatch? Because I'm eager to avoid Hollywood films. It's fair enough. William Fleming as well says, as a former Hearst owner, I'm happy movie studios are no longer destroying these beautiful cars. Phantasm still gives me PTSD. That's cool that you got a Hearst, man. And another one from Horseradish Power says, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire has editing problems. I know I could rewatch The Visitor, the awesome 1979 Lance Henriksen film that is pure craziness. And I could also always rewatch the Twilight films. I wonder what episodes of Buffy has ghosts. Brilliant. All right.